Hello world, Shelly here, and today I've got another side-by-side eye look with a potential dupe for the Natasha Denona Retro palette. What am I speaking of? Dun dun dun! The Harmony palette from Alter Ego. It has been a hot minute since Alter Ego put out an eyeshadow palette. They had a bunch of stuff come out in 2021 and then radio silence for a while, so I was afraid that they were no longer with us, but they are back and they chose one of my favorite palettes to work on, dupe out, make something similar to. Let me show you the goodness here. So the layout is different, but as you see, Natasha Denona is one of my favorites. I got some good dips into some of those colors already, but the colors here, the color story is very, very similar. And what I'm going to do today is go side by side and do one eye with one of the palettes, the other with the other. Not going to tell you which one is which until we are done. I have done some side by side swatches that I will show you here. The shade closest to my wrist in each pair is the Natasha Denona Retro palette, and the second shade, or the shade in each pair closest to my fingertips, is the Alter Ego Harmony palette. So you can see a very similar color story. I have matched them up by colors, and in some cases they're a little bit different. I think overall the retro palette is a little bit more pink toned on some of the shades, some of the lighter shades in particular, but it's a very subtle difference, and I'm excited to see how this one goes. I'm very happy to see Alter Ego back. I've got a bunch of these videos comparing Alter Ego palettes to the higher end ones that they're attempting to dupe out. Please get down, Ziva. Thank you. So, when you think you have a guess, put it in the comments. Which side is which? Which side do you think is the high-end palette? Which one? I think this one is $65. And I have to double check, but these are usually $16. So big difference in price. Let's see. Let's do an eye look. I have already primed both lids with my MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. So they are starting out on equal footing there. In between each color, I will be using the same brush, but cleaning them off in my Color Switch Clean Sweep, whatever the heck this thing is called. And I'll tell you what brushes I'm using. I got my list of the names and what they match up to. I still have no idea what I'm going to do for my eye look. We're just going to wing it and see how this goes. All right, I got my list. I got my palettes. I have not told you which one is which, so I think we're going to start out with the shade that is called Nude Mauve in the Natasha Denona palette, and it is called Tender in the in the Alter Ego palette. So we're going to use my BK Beauty, this is the 202 brush, and this will be my transition shade. I feel like my camera's doing something strange. Is it focusing oddly on my nose for some reason? I don't know. I don't know. Something weird is happening. All right, let's try and okay. Hopefully the focus is going to be okay, you guys. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why on earth it would focus on my nose. My nose does not have anything interesting going on. Alright, let's switch to my Sigma E25. I'm actually going to clean it off because I really need to clean my brushes. Alright, Sigma E25. I think I'm going to go with the shade that is called, let's see, what is it called? Natasha Denona, it's called Andy, and in the Alter Ego, it is called Nurture. This is the one that in my Natasha Denona palette, I am like getting close to hitting pan already, because I use this shade a lot. I'm taking this into the crease, and sometimes I actually do the other, like vice versa of this, where I will take the Andy slash Nurture shade and put it in my transition instead, and then do the other one for my crease. But you know, we're just gonna roll the way we are rolling with Andy right now. Next, I'm going to take my BK Beauty. This is the A505 from the Angie Hot and Flashy. And I should probably decide what to do next. Let's do the one that's called Swing in the Natasha Denona and Will in the Alter Ego palette. And take this on the outer corner. Sort of the outer third going into half of the lid, and I don't want to go too high because I don't want to get into my crease. I am going to go back in and blend more with a darker shade in the crease once we get some of this lid shade down. Now I am opting to use more of the pinks and purples, but I have done looks out of the Natasha Denona palette that play more with those warmer orangey corally colors, and they're all beautiful. It's not too warm, and it's not like super warm. It's a beautiful palette. It's one of my favorite palettes. Sometimes I get frisky and take some of these like stone colors and go for something a little bit, let's get frisky. I'm going to put a little bit of stone color in with some purples as we got this going on. All right, I'm going to use the Jude shade from Natasha Denona or the Amity shade in the, why can I not remember the words, Alter Ego? I'm just on the struggle bus with remembering the term Alter Ego. This is so pretty. I really love this palette. When I get to the center where they overlap, I'm just barely touching my lid to just barely kind of bring that color over. All right, we got the basics down. Now, I am going to grab my BK Beauty. This is the A504, also from the Angie Hot and Flashy collection. All right, we're gonna go in and do a little bit of something. Let's see, let me look at my list here. Let's use Groove slash Sense. Yes, got my list. And I'm gonna take this right into the crease. I want precision, and I'm kind of doing the outer 7 thing. Thank you to Nisha at Sugar Puff and Fluff for codifying the outer 7 instead of the outer V for those of us that need some lift on our outer corners. That description changed everything for me, and it just made everything make so much more sense. Okay, I'm going to clean off this brush. I'm going to keep the same brush going on. And I'm going to go into the shade Apart or Mercy as I throw my brush. It is sort of a brown shade. And I'm going to just keep this in the outer 7. And the outer sort of quarter of my lid. Just to deepen this part up a little bit. I don't want to lose that purpley, but I do want some depth. Keep the same brush again. I'm going to go back into where we were using Nude Mauve and Tender originally. I just want to make sure I've got enough going on in my transition up here. Sometimes you lose it when you go in with the crease color. But I want something just a little bit blurry, a little bit smoked up here. Just a little bit. Taking the darker color just a little higher than I normally would. I don't know why. I'm just in the mood. I'm in the mood. And there's nothing wrong. Oh, I did just jump over to this side. It's okay. It's okay. We're not really tainting anything here. You know what I wish? I wish I could be one of those people that, you know how some people can like bring their transition shade like all the way to the inner corners? I just look so strange when I do that. I wish I could. I wish I could. I do just look so strange when I do that. All right, now I'm gonna give it one little pop. I'm done with the brush. I'm gonna use my fingertips. I'm going to do the shade that is Chorus in, I should say these in the same way. Let's go back the other way. Glitz in the Natasha Denona, Chorus in the Alter Ego. Fingertip, center. Just a little pop. And I'm just going to tap it toward the inner corner just for blending purposes. Wiping off the fingertip. It just gives it like a little bit of color shift going on there. Alright, now I want lower lash line. This is my Wingoss number 5. And Nude Mauve and Tender. Again, I think we are going to stick with the neutral. I debated for a second using a pinky one, the pinky shade. And decided against it. Let's not forget. I almost did forget. Let's do a little bit of brow bone highlight. This is some random brush. Crown C513. And we do have a light shade. We've got the one that's Mod in the Natasha Denona and True in the Alter Ego. I did not do my brows yet, so I'm going to get a little bit of highlight on the arch of my brow. Sort of depuffing the hoods of my lids, that just bringing that color up a little bit, like the brightness up, really does a lot to lift everything. So I try to remember to do it every time now. All right, I'm going to take my BK Beauty 201, 301, hold on, 201. And I'm just going to give myself a little no color blurring out of all the things. Wipe it off. Just a little blurring, blending. Super soft hand. I'm not really going for anything but diffusion. I just want to diffuse the edges. And this nice big fluffy brush is perfect for that. All right. Let me go do the whole liner mascara thing. I will be right back. All right, you ready for the close-up? Here we go. Do not blame this eye for the area that never holds color. That is true no matter what palette I use. So do not blame that spot on the eyeshadow palette. That is just the anatomy of my eye skin. Eye skin? Oh, I don't know. You know what I mean. There you go. Here's the look. All right, here is the finished look. Do you have guesses? Which side is Natasha Denona and which side is Alter Ego? While you're thinking about it, I swatched the original Lolita next to the reformulated Lolita, which is no longer called Lolita. What is the name of it now? Queen of Upside Down. Queen of Poisons. Oh, my eyes, you guys. Here is original Lolita. Here is Queen of Poisons. So I would say New Lolita. Queen of Poisons is a little bit less warm-toned than the original. It does feel like a different formula. It stays a little bit more fluid for a little bit longer, which I actually like because it gives you time to draw that crisp edge in with the liquid lip. I also like the packaging better. It's not round. Well, I mean, it's round, but it's like octagonal. Not really. How do you describe this? What is this shape? Do you see what it is? How it's got like 4 little points to it? The whole entire container has that shape, and I like it because then it won't roll off my vanity. I do miss the flower edging along the cap. I really liked that from the previous ones, but this is the new version from KVD Beauty, and yeah, as these dry down, I do think that the original Lolita is a little bit warmer toned. I am wearing the new one, the Queen of Poisons. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, I'm going to wipe this off before I get it everywhere. And so, what's your guess? Which side is Natasha? Which side is Alter Ego? What do you think? Are you ready? Here we go. The big reveal. 1, 2. Ah, gotta itch my nose. Ta-da! All right, there you have it. This side is the Natasha Denona Retro palette. This side is the Alter Ego palette. Today, I actually think the Alter Ego palette turned out a little bit more smooth looking, but I don't think it's the fault of the Retro palette. There's one thing about Natasha Denona shadows. I love her formula, particularly her shimmers and her duochromes, but her mattes are a little bit more tricky to get looking smoothly blended. It's almost like you need to be a professional to get professional results out of it, which, you know, I'm not mad about it. That is what it is. But it's a little, I think it's a little trickier. Now, I will say the Harmony palette here from Alter Ego, the shimmers are gorgeous and they're nearly spot on color-wise to the Natasha Denona. These mattes in this palette, I think, are a little harder pressed even than other Alter Ego palettes. I really had to go in there to get powder shadow to pick up on the matte shades. They did end up blending fine on the eye. This is my first time using this palette on my eyes, and they did end up blending fine, I think. But they are harder pressed. I wonder if I can get, so like the shade Tender, which is this top corner, versus the shade Shy, which is the one, this light shade above my nail. I'm going to try to get it to zoom in here. I might be too close, but do you see how Tender is very, it's typical powdery, I would call it. That's what I like. And the shade Shy just almost looks like hard pan, like no powder comes up really when you, same with this Glory shade, same with, I didn't use Admire in this eye look, or did I? I can't remember now, but they're just harder pressed, you know, and you have to kind of work at it to get powder to pick up on your brush. That said, I think both sides look beautiful. I really like the price on the Alter Ego palettes, so if your budget does not afford you the option to dive deep into the Natasha Denona options, I think having Alter Ego is a very, very good option. Now, I will say, I get questions often when we talk about dupes on how is a company allowed to do that? You know, why can't they sue them for copyright infringement or something like that? And basically the way it works is unless something about that product is so identifiably connected to the brand that it would harm them to be mistaken for another brand, it's not, you can't copyright the color scheme of the palette. So this variety of colors is not anything unique to Natasha Denona, therefore anyone can make a palette of similar colors. And it's even though there's tons of research and development that goes into the color matching and the layout and the combinations and the relationships and how they're put into the pan, It's not something that you can't sue someone for doing this. So as long as that's the law, and that is currently the law, then companies can do this. If you want that to change, then you should contact the lawmakers in your area, in your district, in your state, wherever you happen to be. But it's totally legal. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not breaking any laws anyway. Whether you believe that to be good in terms of intellectual property, that kind of a thing. As a creator myself, I understand how, especially when you're a little guy, Natasha Denona is not a little guy, but if you are a little guy, it can take a lot of resources relative to the resources you have to put together things like color schemes and things like that. So I get it. I get the concern. I totally understand it as a creator. If you want the laws changed, talk to your lawmakers. That is what it is. But while it's legal, I support it. I'm a fan. I love Alter Ego. I think they make really good, affordable products, and it's a great option for people that don't have the budget to be going out and dropping lots of Natasha Denona money. I regularly drop a lot of Natasha Denona money, so Natasha's not losing out on me having Alter Ego at all, because I'm still buying all the Natasha Denona. There you have it. Did this one surprise you at all? It didn't surprise me, really. I know Alter Ego makes good palettes, so that is what I know. That is my experience with these things. I hope you enjoyed checking out these two. I'm also really liking this KVD new formula. I don't know if it's been long enough to kiss my hand yet. Should I kiss my hand? No, it has not been long enough. It's not dried down yet. But it feels really nice. Like, it doesn't feel drying. KVD liquid lips, as much as I love them, and I have a lot of them, do tend to dry my lips out. I'll keep you guys posted on this one. This one's feeling really nice. It's feeling really nice so far. There you have it. Another comparison of another good dupe in the books. If you like these dupe comparisons, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments. Are there other dupe palettes you would like me to check out? What would you like to see? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.